Now we're going to talk about how to retrieve more than one record. So we'll go ahead and make a copy of this. Okay, so now we're going to work on our navigation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new PHP block, and I'm going to take everything we just did here, cut that, and paste it down here. I'm going to go ahead and tighten that up, and I'm going to give myself some space here. So we're going to build our navigation, and before that, what I'm going to do is we'll just build kind of a simple little website template. So we'll make a header tag, and in here we'll go ahead and make an H1 tag, which if you're in Dreamweaver you can do Control 1, and we'll give our website a title. And let's come down here. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of our pre-tag, and we'll put a footer tag in here. And put a paragraph in there. Again, if you're using Dreamweaver, you can do Control-Shift-P. And we're going to do, for our content area, we'll do section. And we'll take the closing tag of that and drag it here below our query. So the YouTube video is going to be in the content area. Let's go ahead and give this area a title. And we're going to do an H2 tag. So in Dreamweaver, you can do Control 2. Our videos. And to better format, let's go ahead and change this original H1 here to an H3 for the label of the video. There you go. And lastly, we'll make our nav. So nav tag. And let's go ahead and talk about how we can retrieve our entire navigation. So within here, we're going to make some PHP tags. We're going to need to run a query. So result equals MySQLi underscore query, and we'll send it the database connection, and then we need to send it our query. So let's really quick take a look at our database again and look at what we have in the nav table. So we're going to make this query a little more detailed. What I want to do is I want to get all of the records. I want them ordered by the position we gave them. And I only want to display the records that have a status of 1 or that are enabled. So we're going to do select all from nav where status equals 1 order by position ascending. So now we need to do something with these results. And we're actually going to use the same function, the MySQLi underscore fetch underscore assoc function. Only this time we're going to take advantage of a loop, and we're going to use the while loop. And while, and that takes parameters, and we need some curly brackets. And if you're not familiar with loops, when a loop runs, for each time it runs, it's going to do whatever we put inside these curly brackets. So what we want it to do is we want it to run once for every single record. So we're going to go ahead and create an array called nav equals MySQLi underscore fetch assoc into the result. So now we're going to have an array built called nav, and we're going to be able to access the keys, which are the same as the column names in the database. So let's go ahead and see what happens here. We'll go ahead and just simply echo out the nav. We're going to echo out the label. And let's see what happens. So we'll save, and we'll run it. And there you go. So you see, we got a list of all the labels. Now there's no formatting to this or anything, which is why they're sitting all next to each other with no spacing. But that's pretty cool, huh? So let's go ahead and give it some formatting. We need these to be links. So we're going to want to concatenate some HTML in here. So we'll put an A tag at the beginning and close it at the end. And it's going to need an href property. And the href is going to refer to the URL we placed here. So we're going to want to concatenate and do nav URL. So that's going to place the URL in the href property, and it's going to do that for every link. So let's go ahead and save this and upload it. Refresh. There we go. We got a bunch of links. And if you hover over it, you can see down at the bottom in the status bar that our link changes to what we have stored in the database. Now, another feature that we wanted to add in here is the target, which we placed that in here in the target field or column. So after the href property, hit space. We're going to add the target property, so target equals, and again we're going to concatenate, and we're going to simply place nav target. So if you're familiar with HTML at all, by default target will always open up in the same tab or window. If you give it the value of underscore blank, which we did for one of our links, it will open up in a new tab or window. So because we left the column blank, if we didn't want it to open up a new tab, we can still run this without any errors, because it's going to output nothing into the target property. So it's still going to run with the default. So that works. So we'll go ahead and save that and upload it and refresh. And because we don't have any of these pages actually made, let's go ahead and view the source and see what was outputted. So target is nothing, target is nothing, target is nothing, and target is underscore blank. So let's go ahead and test that with the YouTube channel. And there you go. We linked to the YouTube channel. It opened in a new tab, and all is good. So now you have a decent idea on how to connect to a database and retrieve data and display it a couple different ways. And now that you have this knowledge, this opens up the possibilities to do so much more with your websites. And the so much more part is really connected to how much more you know about PHP and what you can do in PHP. So the more familiar you get with PHP, the more tools you learn, the more functions you learn, etc., you'll find that there's so much more you can do with this data. So we're going to move into the project portion of this series, and we're going to kind of tidy this up, add a little formatting, and we're going to take advantage of some other PHP functionality to further manipulate this data. Now I'm going to go ahead and save a copy of this.